What's up, everybody? Daniel, representing Beyond Us here. We want to thank you for taking the time to click on this video and join us for episode 2 of the podcast. We regret to inform you that our video file was very poor quality due to some issues on the recording software. We hope to have this fixed by episode 3, but because of that, there's not going to really be anything for you to watch on the video aspect of this. It'll be fairly still for the most part, the occasional pop-up of socials and things along those lines. So if you would rather just listen on Spotify, you won't be missing out on anything, unfortunately, just with corruption issues. If you want to listen here, please feel free, but we wanted to give you that in advance so that you wouldn't look at this and be like, why is my video not playing, but the sound is? It is not on your end. It is a technical error on my part specifically, and that is why I wanted to apologize in the forefront and let you know that I will do my best to have that fixed for you guys next time. But nonetheless, thank you so much for listening to us and tuning in. Brett, Salo, and myself very much appreciate it. And if you're sticking around here or moving over to Spotify, either way, thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I hope you enjoy.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Beyond Us podcast. We are Beyond Us. I'm Brett. I'm here with Daniel and Salo.
What's goody?
What's up?
And we're just going to get on into it. How's everybody doing today?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. Annoying week. Real early mornings. But now it's all going to completely flop. And I'm going to be waking up at like noon. Going from 1 a.m. to noon.
Oh, that's
Are they
right.
shifting your schedule again already?
This is the curse that I am meant to live with. All the time.
Weren't you going to work
I
on
feel
like
like
1?
they just shifted it.
Yeah, that sucks.
I feel like we had this conversation on the last podcast.
Yep. This might be a recurring theme.
Damn.
So it's something we were talking about before we started recording. Daniel had some interesting things happen last night.
Oh, yeah.
What's up with this?
All right.
I saw the footage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so all right, so both of my castmates here saw this footage. Now, for those of you who do not know, I am a streamer on Twitch. And last night, during my stream, some very strange things started to occur. I would like to preface this by saying this is not a skit. This is not a sham in any way. I was not a part of doing
No offense,
these.
you're not that talented.
I'm not. I'm genuinely not. I'm not. First of all, I was live. Even if it was a pre-recording, I'm not talented enough of an editor. That's why y'all are the editors for this. I couldn't have done that. And you saw the footage. There's no way I was pulling it off. You saw the footage.
And you weren't reacting. I feel like someone who was faking it would have reacted along with...
Right, I would have been like, I would have been like, oh, guess what's gonna happen? Right, exactly.
Amber was petrified.
So I was co-streaming with a friend of mine, Amber, and we were playing a game that didn't take a lot of focus. So she was monitoring my stream, because she's basically a moderator for me, without the official title. And I step away for a little bit to go to the bathroom, fill up my drink, everything like that. And my chat starts talking about how my shirts in the background are moving. Now, for our audio listeners, you're not going to be able to see this, but for the visuals, I'm just going to point them out. I am referring to the shirts in the back corner of my room. They are very visible on my camera on stream.
Right.
They are actively moving as if someone is in the shirt breathing. It is the freakiest thing. Now, Brett and I both tried to explain this away from a logical standpoint. There's an updraft, whatever. Granted, I've done a lot of thinking about it. My fan is always on. It's on right now. Shirts are not moving an inch. There's no vent over there. The window's on the other side of the room. There's no logical thing. But we do our best to explain shit away because we don't want to worry.
Doors open. Maybe there was some change going on.
Whatever.
Draft of
Changing the pressure.
something happened.
Whatever. It's about to rain. Whatever. I can feel it in my ankle. Arthritis. But then things happened that were not explainable under any circumstances. So, again, for my visual listeners over here, this trash can right here is what I'm referring to. For those of you that can't see, I have a trash can that is to the back right of me, so that when I'm streaming, I can just reach over, throw something away, be good. It's got a lid. The lid has to be lifted up manually or has to use a foot pedal. It's not sensor activated.
And your feet's not anywhere near it, right?
No. So the pedal is literally at the very bottom of the trash can.
Okay.
The pedal is a solid foot and a half away from me. And I am actively facing the opposite
The clips
direction.
of these will be uploaded at some point, probably to TikTok, I imagine.
Yeah, I absolutely intend on uploading them to my streams TikTok, and we'll tag them if our visual editor over there can manage to maybe put them up on the screen during the visual podcast on YouTube. I'll send him the files just in case, but no guarantees on that. But the trash can behind me is the foot pedal is not sensitive by any means necessary. And my feet are nowhere near it. At least a foot and a half. I'm not good at eyeing measurements, but whatever. At one point, genuinely, out of nowhere, the lid violently opens and flings my cup off of my trash can. To which I react in genuine stun. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react. I was genuinely just completely taken aback. I move on. I tell myself, because I didn't actually see the lid lift up until I watched the clip back. So I took that as someone outside of my room.
Right.
Kind of like, hopped off the stairs, shook the ground a little bit. It fell off the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to explain maybe there was a shift in the ground. Mentally trying to explain it. Now watching the clip back, the lid opens. That's not how shit works.
So, have you experienced anything else besides these last couple of days?
I have, and I have in this house.
In this house, okay, in that house. Okay.
There's been things that have happened, but never in my room. But the most freaky thing was definitely a few minutes after that. I'm actively playing the game, and in the background, you can see the lid of the trash can slowly open, and then just start and bob and weave on being opened and closed. And then you hear Amber with true fear in her voice. I mean, Brett can attest to it. That is real fear.
She had no idea what the fuck was happening.
And she goes, because my stream name's Pip, she goes, "Pip, the fuck's happening?" And as soon as she says it, the lid closes. And so I never saw it live. And then I looked at the video back and I was like, what is going on? So last night on stream, over on my personal Twitch channel, very strange things occurred.
That is spooky. Man. So I have a question for you. So follow-up question. So that sounds really spooky, and you've mentioned things like that before that you've seen happen there. So what would you do? What would you be open to the idea of me buying you an EMF sensor and mailing it to your house, and then seeing like maybe leaving that bitch on for like a stream or something, and seeing if anything like were to happen?
So I will tell you this: if you want to send me an EMF reader, I will search the whole house with it. If you send me a Ouija board, I'm going to mail it back with a note that says fuck you. There is a certain level of Caucasian that I'm not willing to pass.
Fair enough.
Fuck.
But if you want to get me an EMF reader, I'll scan the whole house and I'll record it and everything. I'll do that. EMF reader, sure.
You want to be a bro? Right. You send this man some rock salt.
A rock salt shotgun, yeah. Something that Brett and I talked about. So in case anybody is listening and is questioning, myself, Daniel, me, I do firmly believe in ghosts. If any of our listeners don't believe in ghosts, you are more than welcome to believe in whatever you want to believe in. We are not going to shame anybody on their beliefs. I personally believe in ghosts. I'm pretty confident Brett does as well. And part of the conversation when he saw the clips was, do you think it was your dad? Because my dad did die in this house.
Stop it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, really? My dad died in this house 4.5 years ago. So, and if we're being totally honest, that's definitely something my old man would do.
like just to fuck with him.
just to fuck with
He's
me.
not trying to say hi.
It's like-
he's not trying to check up to see how he's doing.
He's not trying to communicate. He's not trying to do nothing. He's just like, watch this. I got the strength to do this shit today.
Like your dad's been training this entire fucking time.
He's been saving 4.5 years of kinetic energy to be able to fuck with two t-shirts and a trash can lid.
I'm just imagining, like, your dad now has ghost buddies. And he's just like, watch this dumbass. Check it,
Guys,
check it.
help me out. Help me out.
Go move the shirt. Go move the shirt.
Guys, both of you, move the shirts together. I could totally see my dad doing something like that. If his ghost is here, totally could see my dad doing something like that.
That's awesome.
But a couple people during my stream asked me, am I scared? No, I'm not. And not because I'm not scared of the idea that ghosts are real. That can be terrifying. But nothing that happened was violent.
Right.
Aside from a slightly violent lift of the lid and something fell off, and I think that was the more violent part of it. Maybe my dad just didn't realize how strong he was and he pushed the pedal a little too hard.
Right.
It
happens as a ghost. You make mistakes and you spend a little bit more kinetic energy than you think.
You know what, Salo? Tell me more about the life of a ghost.
Yeah, tell me about ghost mistakes. I'm interested.
Curious.
Oh my god, no. So I had my own spooky experience a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. I was my girlfriend. Her name's Amanda. She was in the office in this room, and she was coming to get something. I forget, and the lights start flickering all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, just flickering. And she's like, what's going on, or something like that. And I was like, hey, it's the ghost. It's okay. And as soon as I say it's the ghost, the lights turn off completely.
Yeah, that's not okay.
And we left the house. I mean, we went to do a chore, but we left the house right after. Tried to forget it.
You're like, let me let him calm down. He might be a little upset right now. Stage
I would
fright.
like to establish, I slept in this room after all that shit happened.
Excuse me, but no.
Man, if I'm sleeping in that room, the lights ain't coming off.
No, I dimmed them more than they are right now, and they stayed on. I'm not gonna front. They stayed on at a nice 10% brightness. But no, spooky, there's definitely been things that have happened in this house before. Vents popping out of the ground. One time, me and my family were standing out in the kitchen. Definitely heard steps in the front foyer. Definitely heard footsteps, and all of us were in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Things have fallen off walls that shouldn't have moved. Lights will flicker now and then. But there's never been anything violent. So we've never been worried about it. But this was the first time anything happened in my room, and the first time that anything's happened on a I guess a focused level where multiple things were happening in one day.
Right. You clearly have at least a level 2 ghost there. Right. It's not a level 1 ghost. You have at least level 2.
But it was definitely interesting, and I thought it was really cool that it happened while I was live because I caught the footage. Right. But yeah, I showed Brett, and Brett was just like, "That's not okay."
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I've showed a few people, and they're like, "That's crazy. What did you do to do it?" And I'm like, "I didn't do anything. There's no way I could have faked this."
We need to get you an EMF sensor, my dude.
Correction. There are ways it could be faked. There's no way he could have faked it.
Right. No. It totally could have been faked. Totally. I mean, well, no. Something like this could have totally been faked.
Right. But there's nobody in your house.
Because there's no one in my house that could have done it.
Right. Your parents aren't, or your family, or whoever you're living with. They're not gonna just try to move stuff with a magical string. They're not gonna buy it off of Amazon.
I think the only person in your house.
I think my parent was the one doing it.
The only person in your house that I could imagine doing it would be your uncle. If
I absolutely think my uncle would
try to do something,
but I don't think he could.
I don't know.
I don't think there's anything he could have done with the footage that I have that I wouldn't have noticed he had done.
At least afterwards.
Right.
There's nothing there. There's also the fact that today, other than time out in the living room with my uncle, I've been in my room all day prepping for the podcast. There's no way he could have come in to stop the damn t-shirts from moving.
I mean, it could have been like a remote something, theoretically. I mean, I'm not saying really clearly there's nothing back there. Like, I imagine you checked, but
right. But I'm just saying, like, it could be faked. Absolutely, it wasn't here because no one here is capable of faking.
I just like the idea of your dad just saving up enough energy just to fuck with you. Like the proverbial flick of the fucking nose.
Like, hey son.
Bah.
Bitch. But yeah, so
I've been trying to talk to you.
That was definitely strange.
You weren't listening.
But yeah, that was definitely crazy to say the least. So,
when did that happen?
That happened last night around. Let's see. It happened at around hour 5. It started around hour 5 of my stream, so probably around 4:00 this morning.
Is it?
No. I'm sorry. Around hour 5.
Isn't it like a haunting hour?
It started around hour.
That's a thing.
No.
Right?
I'm sorry. It started somewhere between 2 and 3. Which is definitely the haunting hour. You're absolutely right.
I don't remember exactly what the haunting hour is, but
I think it's 2 to 3:30 is the haunting hour.
That's hella spooky, man. And y'all over here with people in your house. I'm here alone with my headphones on, unbeknownst to the ghosts around me.
He's alone? What you mean? Brett's alone?
You're alone, Brett?
Brett's alone in a different country.
In a different country. Why does
Brett's alone in, from what everything I've heard, is one of the most haunted countries on the fucking planet.
Yeah, there's more history there, I'm sure.
Like
you got some spooky boys there, some samurai spooky boys.
I'm not gonna say that it isn't a little creepy sometimes. That, like, walking to work at 1 a.m. and pitch black, you just randomly hear fucking noises in the street. No, I'm not gonna say it's not spooky.
Now, I imagine your coworkers walking around, like them going to their jobs at 1 o'clock. Is it just literally just you, lonely?
Yeah, what fucking coworkers?
He ain't got no coworkers at 1 a.m.
Me. I'm the asshole walking in at 1 a.m. If I see somebody, they're coming off a bender.
I appreciate you for your service.
They're coming for you.
Oh.
Let's not talk about that.
That reminds me, have you guys been hearing about the controversy about the air tags? The what? So you know what they are, right? Like the little tags that Apple came out with, where you could attach it onto your favorite things, and it's like a little. It's like they already created a
GPS tracker.
It's like a little thing like that.
What?
Yes, and listen to me. So the way it does it, it connects to every iPhone device in in the area. And it'll use any device. It's GPS. Even if you don't know it's being used, that's how it's so accurate. It'll just, anywhere it goes, like you can put it on a train and it'll pick up someone's iPhone information, connect automatically without anybody knowing because it's their network, and send a very accurate GPS. So it's way better than a GPS device because it doesn't use GPS. It just piggybacks on other Apple devices all over the world.
So it's designed to be a key finder.
Right.
Like you put it on your key fob.
But you could theoretically put it on anything.
People have used it. Well, it started coming out as a controversy because people have used it as a way to stalk people. Like some people started finding in their coats.
Oh,
like
yeah. All you got to do is drop it in somebody's pocket or book bag.
It's very slim. Like it's like not like that big, maybe.
I feel like I need to grab my phone and Google.
Yeah, that's what I just did. Like that's tiny.
And
you could easily just slip that into somebody's pocket without them realizing it.
They came out with certain security features, right? Because obviously they're aware. They're not idiots. There's a lot of people working there for Apple. But they came out with this setting where if it's away from the home device way too long, it starts beeping an audible sound. So like if you have it in your coat, you'll hear. And that's when on eBay they started selling modified AirTags without the speakers.
Why?
Yes.
Because they know creepy people are gonna buy them.
So anywhere, dude, I can throw this thing on you. You could go somewhere else. It's gonna hitch back on someone's iPhone without them knowing because it's their network.
Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like these things are. I'm looking at the circular ones. They're literally the size of a quarter.
Yeah.
People have found them in their car behind their license plates. They found it behind their license plates in their cars.
Dude, this is not okay.
I know, right? Spooky, man.
Like this technology has existed for a long time. Not to say it hasn't, but like to mass produce something like this and make it this
available to the general public.
I think the scary thing is that it piggybacks on every single iPhone user's network everywhere without anyone's permission to give it.
Why I got a Samsung?
Well, it'll be able to connect. I don't think it can send a GPS signal, but it'll recognize it. You have to download the app, and so it's not that. You're right. You're more secure, but people can still put you. Put it in your coat as you walk away. It's very accurate.
Good news is no one wants to stalk me.
The creepy part of it is, bro, that since it's in it uses a certain chip inside the tag. Apple can actually put like directional thing, whereas before it was like a ping. This time it'll literally point you like on the app where specifically you got to go to.
Bro, this is so not okay. Like, this is super not okay.
It's not even that expensive.
Yeah. How much are they?
Like $40.
You can get a pack of like 3 for $40 or some shit. I think.
Yo, this is busted.
And people started using it as a way to track the efficiency of UPS or FedEx or different like places because they can see the exact location and how long it actually takes. So they saw like, oh, it updated on my tracker, but it hasn't even moved yet. And that was like 3 days ago, and it's still at the facility in Amazon, but it said it's already on its way to my house. So they started uncovering like different companies doing crazy stuff, like or they started like being able to check the carriers for mail because they can literally see the position be so accurate.
Damn.
That's so not okay.
Yeah. So just be out and look out. I'm only telling you guys, because awareness, man, that's spooky stuff.
I mean, I can think of like positive things that it can be used for, like. Let's say you throw it onto like your child's key fob, so like, right. And all of a sudden they're like, you haven't heard from them, in such amount of time. You can now locate them, but at the same time, it's like
on the back of a license plate.
Yeah, seriously,
and it can be tracked anywhere in the world because Apple is, the upper echelon of society usually has Apple, as much as we hate to admit it. Apple's popular everywhere.
So here's my like concern that comes along with it. People are already modifying them, right? Like you said, getting rid of the beeping so that doesn't happen. With a device like that, you can modify it a little more. You could turn it into a listening device.
Yeah.
Then it just becomes all. I mean, for all we know, it already has those capabilities in it. I don't know that.
Like it has a mic.
It has,
but it's not activated.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Spooky.
It's capable of transmitting sound. It might be capable of receiving.
Humans are smart. Who's to stop someone from? I don't know the technology, so I could be completely wrong. Adapting that technology, just like they removed the speakers. Why can't they just put a mic?
Yeah, I mean. I don't know. Like I said, it's not to say this technology didn't already exist. Like bugs and trackers have already exist, but the fact that it's so readily available now.
Yeah. It's freaky.
Now your everyday creep can creep. Like it doesn't take someone with a shit ton of intelligence now. Like they just have to do it. They just have to pay for it.
And you'll get a pop-up on your iPhone sometimes that'll be like, there's an AirTag that's been near you for a really long time as a security feature. Now that they started releasing,
I just read like a day ago they've been trying to implement new techniques to try to calm the controversy.
It can be used for a lot of good, but as humans are, they're very mischievous and they have their own intentions. So
yeah,
that's what we tend to do. We tend to take something really good and skew it. That's humanity right there.
That's just crazy, dude. Like, I don't know, man. It's genuinely freaky to think about.
Yeah, it's very important to be caught up in, just because you'd never know something like this would be out there right now.
I would not have known this at least anytime soon, I imagine, unless you told me right now. So, fuck.
Yeah, like it's just super freaky to think about, honestly. Like, genuinely, truthfully freaky to think about.
Mm-hmm. But anywho, that's our corporate lord Apple.
So here's the thought.
Track every single person in the world.
Just as a curiosity. Let's say, for instance, law enforcement were to purchase some of these. Does this circumvent warrants?
I think the act of putting it on to someone
is illegal
without their consent is
okay.
illegal.
What about
bugging people is illegal.
What about like tracking someone's car like that?
That's illegal. If you find the tracking advice, you're supposed to go leave it at the police station.
So the big thing with it, like, let's say a police station is like they requisition, trackers, bugs, and stuff because like they have warrants. Everything's logged. Right. You wouldn't necessarily be able to log the fact that beat cop number 5 purchased an AirTag and stuck it on someone's car.
Right. Or to piggyback off of that, Brett, I just want to piggyback off it because I just thought of it. What if they decided to get or try to sue Apple or get a warrant for Brett's AirTags that he has in all the areas of his house or his technology or his car that'll follow him everywhere? What if they succeed in getting that warrant and Apple's like, okay, here's this is Brett. This is Salo's AirTag stuff. This is where they are.
You mean like Apple then gives permission for agencies to access that data?
Or someone finding a hole. Like, the government's not one to not exploit technology. And they've done it in history before. Like, if they find a hole in Apple, those people in the CIA or whoever those people are who take care of that are going to exploit it, are going to abuse it, and they're going to be the first ones to not tell anyone,
the other thing is like, in the idea of, Apple giving the rights to say, hey, we've been recording all this audio, here you go. There's a difference between that and using one of these things to, like, ping somebody's location. Right. Because at the point that you're acquiring the recorded audio, that's stuff that you're acquiring after charges have been filed. That's like acquiring phone records and stuff like that. But it, like, as of right now, you can't ping someone's phone to find them in the military, like, not in the military, in the police. Like, you can't use a cell phone ping to find somebody. It's illegal.
Right. And like you said,
it's an invasion of privacy.
To be very fair with Apple,
I think it's different if they're.
Always fought it.
I think it's different if they are then classified as a missing person. I think once an investigation has been made,
there's a difference between missing person and criminal investigation. Using a ping to try and find somebody for their betterment
is different
than using a ping to try and find somebody you have a warrant out for. Because it's no longer about an invasion of privacy as much as it is a search and rescue kind of thing.
I almost feel like there's ways to circumvent that. Like if they are trying to chase somebody down, I think if they get a warrant to do so, there's a lot of loopholes.
Yeah. Well, so warrants don't allow it, apparently.
Interesting.
But there's loopholes. You could say, like,
national security.
You say, like, their kids with them. They're kidnapped. We're now in a search and rescue drill. Like, things like that. Like, there's loopholes to everything. But, I mean, here's the reality. Like, this entire thing is not okay. Because, like, everyday people are going to be able to get their hands on these AirTags. And the sad reality is stalkers are real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, do you think there's a way they could have made this that worked? Like I just read, the initial design idea was to track your car keys, right?
Here's my opinion. So there have been devices in the past, and they have competitors. But here's the thing: Apple is the only one using its own network to be able to be so accurate, and it doesn't use GPS, so it can go for a very long time. I feel like even if they wanted to, all they can do is put security features, because the way they're implementing it already just exploits an entire network that, nobody has access to besides Apple.
The only feature you could put in place to try and really prevent, like, a stalker scenario is, like, it has to, like, you can only set to your account, and it can no longer find them if it's outside of 50 meters away.
Right. Oh, and here's one thing before I forget. Just for anyone listening, if they happen to stumble across one, it's completely okay, and it's recommended that if you find one of these things somewhere around you, you can take it to a police department. You can give it to them. There's a serial number on the AirTag. It at least gives them something to go by. So just, if anybody happens to find one.
Right. Wow.
There's so many just fucked up applications that someone could use that for.
I don't mean to change the subject, but I'm going to change the subject real quick. Okay. Have you guys heard that Futurama, they're going to come out with
renewed for 20 episodes through Hulu?
I think it's a reboot, I think, yeah.
No, it's a renewal.
Really? What does that mean?
It's going to be
continued. Yeah,
really?
Continuation.
It's the same story arc. It's not a reboot. It's not like they're restarting. It's 20 new episodes for what happens next.
Getting a little bit more bender. Wow. Let's go.
So and they're able to get the majority of the cast, right?
I know I'm going to get some hate for this. I was never big on Futurama.
Really? Why is that, you think? You didn't like the crude joke, or you just didn't catch on?
So I think it's the same reason I never got into Adventure Time. I never got into Bob's Burger. I never got into all these shows. I already had enough dumb humor through Family Guy and South Park that I didn't need another show that was just kind of like nonsensical humor.
Right. With a lot of math and science sprinkled in.
I know that they're different, and I know they all have their own shticks and their own spiels, and I totally respect that. But, a lot of these shows, I had already watched South Park, I had already watched Family Guy. I didn't need another show that was, for lack of a better term, dumb humor.
Okay, I just had to I had to check something, because the way it sounded was like Futurama came out well after any of these shows were going on. Okay, I was like, yeah, Futurama's an old show.
No, Futurama's old. I didn't see it until after I had already watched South Park and Family Guy. Mm-hmm. It's why I don't care about The Simpsons. It's why I don't care about any of those things. It's even though The Simpsons is the OG of this type of show.
That's very unpopular. That's a very unpopular opinion. I kind of agree with you, though. You get tired of it.
I don't hate The Simpsons by any means, but I just don't care. And I don't care about Family Guy anymore.
Have you seen Futurama the whole way through?
I have not. No.
I recommend it, man. It's I see what you mean with the crude humor. The thing that, like you said, distincts Futurama or makes it distinctive compared to everyone else is that it uses a lot of mathematics and science based,
right.
Just science.
And maybe one day I'll go back and I'll try it. But I don't even like Family Guy anymore. I don't like South Park anymore.
I'm with you. It's just
I
doesn't
outgrew
hit the
them.
same. Yeah.
And that's not to say that if you still like South Park or Family Guy or any of these shows that you're a little kid or anything. I outgrew them personally.
Probably not supposed to be watching them as a little kid.
No, everybody did that.
No, we did.
We snuck it in.
I outgrew that type of humor, as a person. I don't care. If people say, dude, I fucking love Family Guy. Hey, do you? I used to. It's just not for me anymore. But, that's why I never got big into Futurama. But I saw that it was getting a renewal, and I thought that was really cool for the Futurama fans.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm very excited. I like the way they ended it, so I'm excited.
Gives me a reason to rewatch it.
I want to be a little hopeful. Yeah, man.
That's a lot of episodes.
You know what?
Kind of
you know what? Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe Brett and I will sit down and watch it.
Another kind of renewal that happened recently, and I've been loving the show. Have you guys been catching up on Dexter? I think it's.
I'm waiting till it finishes.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it episodically.
So I'm waiting till it finishes because I want to just be able to
binge it,
push through it. But I'm also worried about it because I've heard good things. But I remember the last season.
No spoilers.
No.
No spoilers. Just I mess with it. It's pretty good. I recommend you watch it with an open mind, because I also thought God, they screwed up the last couple of seasons of the main show. What do we have to look forward to? But it really goes in depth and goes inside the characters a little bit more. So I think you guys will like it.
So I think Dexter fit the mold of something that I've talked about a lot before. A lot of shows go down after 5 seasons.
What's the saying? 6 seasons in a movie or 7 seasons in a movie?
I have no idea. I just know that almost every show I've watched that went longer than 5 seasons, season 5 was the last time it was really good.
The rule of thumb is 6, so you're absolutely right. I agree. 5 or 6 seasons, you're done. And
almost every show I've watched, the season 5 ending could have been the end of the show. And I'm going to be real, I'm about to name some old shows, so if you haven't seen them already, that's on you that you did. Season 5 could have been the end, because these are some old shows. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Season 5 was the end, and then they brought it back anyway. Supernatural. Season 5 was the end, and then they brought it back anyway. Now, granted, I'll tell you right now, I watched all 16 seasons of Supernatural twice. I watched the first 14 seasons 6 times. But that doesn't mean it couldn't and maybe shouldn't have ended earlier. Just saying. As a Supernatural diehard fan, it went too long.
It's been going on for way
it went too long, and it ended horribly.
Did you hear it even got like a Scooby-Doo episode?
It did get and you know what?
That was dope.
I love that Scooby-Doo
That was
episode.
dope. The Scooby-Doo episode was fucking
really?
That shit was bad, bro.
I haven't watched
it. It was bad. That was dope.
That's awesome. I haven't seen that one, so I'm excited.
I think that was, season 13?
Mm-hmm.
But, shows just, they go downhill when they've been going on too long, because TV shows, at least, live action shows, you can get away with it more on animated shows, because you have a lot more room to things.
Mm-hmm.
But, live action shows, they
run out of ideas.
Right.
Good ideas. They come up with stuff, obviously, but they tend to run out of good ideas, good story concepts.
Right.
And a lot of character development.
Arrow. Go ahead. Character development?
I was going to say a lot of character development, at least from what I've seen, will start to double back on itself. So, you had a character building and building and building, learning from their mistakes, and then they'll do something and just, tear it all down so that they have to rebuild again.
Yeah.
And,
Arrow's
kind
a
of
perfect
redo that
example
character
of that.
development.
Arrow is a perfect example of that. I can't tell you how many times Stephen Amell's Oliver Queen was I'm a good person now. Now I'm a piece of shit. I'm a good person now. No, I'm a piece of shit. Oh, hey, I'm happy right now. No, I'm broody.
I need to do this alone. No, right. I need my
now
friends around me. Oh no, I can't put them in danger. I need to do this alone. I can't do this without them. Yeah.
But and even Supernatural, another show, another example. We love that show. You and I have watched a lot of it together. But for fuck's sake, Sam and Dean, if they don't fucking learn from their mistakes, no one does. Oh my god! How many times can you betray your brother and work with a demon
and over again
before you learn this is the bad move?
Over and over again.
What's funny is it's a thing of oh, my brother did this, you shouldn't have done it. I will scold you because you did this and you shouldn't have done it, and then I'll do it next season.
I'll do it next episode. The biggest problem Supernatural had, as a Supernatural diehard fan, the biggest problem Supernatural had was their lack of commitment to storylines.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't watched a show that ended 3 years ago. But in the 10th season, Dean became a demon. For 3 episodes.
It was so short-lived.
3 episodes! We didn't even know there was a cure for demonism.
They could have explored that so much. 3 episodes.
Look, some things that a show can do that is a short story are brilliant. In the 2nd season, it's one of the most heartbreaking episodes in Supernatural. I'm going to say it, and Brett's going to start tearing up, because so am I. But in the 2nd season, the first time Sam gets over the fact that his girlfriend died in the beginning of the show and kind of starts to fall for another girl, she's a fucking werewolf, and they just completely give up on the idea of trying to keep her alive, and Sam decides he's going to do it himself and get rid of her himself, and it zooms in on Dean's face, and the heartbreak in that episode, that is short storytelling to a fucking brilliant T. I feel emotional thinking about that episode. It is one of the most emotional episodes of a TV show I've ever seen.
It was really tough to watch.
It was so... I've watched the show 6 times through. It gets me every fucking time.
So tough to watch.
Every time. But then you have moments where they tell one story for 6 episodes, 2 episodes, 3 episodes. I mean, he was a fucking demon. A demon. Not anymore.
That's funny.
It's frustrating. Just,
Didn't they come up with a cure for that too? Later on?
What?
Was that a thing?
Demonism?
No, for...
werewolves?
Yes. No, they just accepted... Like, they accepted it, right?
No,
or did they actually get a cure?
Cure.
Yeah, they found a cure. Okay.
Because Claire got turned into a werewolf and they cured her.
Then all of a sudden there was enough motivation to come up with a cure.
I was so mad.
Give the writers a break. It was only season 2. They can't cure werewolfism in 2 seasons.
Here's the thing I say about Avengers and the Marvel Universe all the time. If you can't do it, then don't do it now. Use your past as building blocks. Follow your own rules.
Yeah.
Like in the MCU, some of the things they're able to do later on is an advancement of technology. And then some of the things they do is, oh, we didn't like what we did in the first movie. Let's change it. Like, that's the difference. But we are not going on another MCU rant because we talked about the MCU for a while last episode. So I am going to change the topic. Now, Salo, I know this won't include you much, so Brett and I will keep it short.
Oh, I did my research. It's coming. I'm ready.
I heard his research. I didn't like it.
I feel like we should at least establish, for anyone that didn't know, it is February 11th at the time of recording, just so you guys know, because this next topic is going to take place.
Do you want to say something?
Can I say the thing that's going to happen? I studied for this.
I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
Okay, so it's the Rams and the Bengals. Football fans will be treated to an NFL championship with a number of fresh faces.
Yes. So we are briefly going to talk about the Super Bowl that takes place in 2 days. The Super Bowl will have already ended by the time this podcast goes live. So take that with a grain of salt, and that's another reason we will keep it short. But the Super Bowl is in 2 days. Salo, I know you're not big on football. But Brett and I definitely are. I am.
He's not big on football. He first told me this, he said the Rams and the Bengals.
And the Bengals?
Yeah, you ain't fucking big on football. You think I wasn't going to forget that?
Well, here's the thing, Brett. Here's the thing I did want to respond to you right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's the Rams' second appearance in the title game in 4 years, but the first with a veteran, quarterback Matthew Stafford, who joined the franchise in the offseason. So I'm very excited.
What was Matthew Stafford's last team?
Very excited. I don't remember.
Okay. That blurb didn't tell you? All right, cool.
As my famous president once usually said, I do not recall.
Who was the last quarterback for the Rams?
Joe Burrow was a great quarterback for the second year.
Okay. So...
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. But that was funny. But no, this Super Bowl is super exciting. Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow, both in their first Super Bowl. I saw a crazy stat. I'm not going to read it to you. But I will tell you what the stat said. Joe Burrow is the fastest quarterback that was drafted number 1 overall to make a Super Bowl. Only his second year. Matt Stafford is the slowest quarterback to be drafted number 1 overall and make his first Super Bowl 13 years after being drafted.
It's been a long time coming.
But when you spend your whole career in Detroit... Oh, and something else that Brett and I have talked about and laughed about multiple times. It's so disrespectful, but it is funny as hell. A post that has been going around the internet. Matt Stafford made the Super Bowl. Eminem's in the halftime show. This is the closest Detroit's ever going to get.
Did you know that, Brett? Marshall Mathers.
Did I know that?
Why would he not not know that.
Mom spaghetti. Sweater already.
So,
Nervous.
the halftime show is what we are all most excited for.
Absolutely.
Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige.
But most importantly, our boy Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Now, I'm going to say it now, and we'll know.
Did I forget about him?
Did you forget about Dre? We'll know by the time this goes live if this is the case or not. But I think there is a genuine chance this is going to be Dre's retirement.
Oh my gosh. You think so? What makes you think that, though?
I think he's on the tail end of his career. I think health issues have been slowing him down. I think he's really been ready to stop. And he's about to be in the halftime show of the Super Bowl. This is going to be the first rap act. Like we've had some pseudo rappers before, but this is straight up rap.
Yeah.
In the halftime show for the first time ever. And Dre is the centerpiece. He is the focal point.
He's who they reached out to.
Yeah, he's who they reached out to. He picked who got to come with him.
Which is so,
I didn't know that.
It's so strange. Like, now as a fan of the industry, it's not that strange to me why I would want to lean that way. But as the industry as a whole, they went to Dre.
Like what? Who made them?
Because I know why they went to Dre.
You know what I mean, right? Like, with the way the culture is right now, like,
they select very brand friendly people, so it's very surprising to get a Dr. Dre.
Well,
leading.
So there's two reasons they picked Dre.
I get it.
There's two reasons they picked Dre. Dre is the godfather of that community. That's facts.
Yeah. God Papa himself.
And
I'm not saying it's not fitting.
No.
For the record.
But here's the other reason, and here's the bigger reason. Here's the logistical, bare bone truth reason that's a little more upsetting that it's the reason, but it is. The Super Bowl is sponsored by Pepsi. Dre has a partnership with Pepsi. That's why they picked Dre.
Big brain moves.
It was the easy connection. And then, and not to mention, Dre has connections with every rapper that anybody cares about. And then Dre picked Snoop, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. Because who the fuck do you... I mean, come on.
All legends.
Yeah, all legends in their own right. One is, like, maybe the greatest of all time. Lyrically, it's not even maybe. Lyrically?
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to say Eminem is not lyrically the greatest of all time is out of your damn mind for sure. This halftime show is finna be dope. I'm curious. It's the most exciting part of this halftime show for me. It is the halftime show. It's the most exciting part of the Super Bowl.
I'm very curious how received it's going to be.
I don't care.
How will it affect the culture?
That's true.
Because the Super Bowl, huge.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody. Like, this is reaching people that
have never listened to rap before.
Exactly. Never listened to rap. It's reaching people that only listen to new rap. Like, they don't listen to,
rap.
This generation.
They don't listen to rap.
They don't listen to rap. Yeah, exactly.
So
it's they think Eminem is a snack. They don't listen to rap.
Anyway, there's two things that I want to know. What's the set list going to be? And how in the hell are you going to have Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick in 15 minutes?
Mesh.
And no cussing is allowed.
How?
I feel like they finna break that rule real fast. I feel like the first word they say is fuck.
Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Dre,
I feel like the only two songs we're guaranteed to... I feel like there's like 2 or 3 songs we're guaranteed to get. Humble.
Right.
Because it's worldwide popular.
Well, it's worldwide popular, and it's Kendrick's biggest song.
Big song, yeah.
For Dre and M, there's a lot of choices. I feel like it's a guarantee we get California Love. It's in LA.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how they did. It's how they did the promo was with California Love. Yeah.
Was he doing Rap God in the promo? Is that what M was doing?
I think.
There's no way he does Rap God. It's too long a track.
An excerpt of it.
Yeah.
It's also too explicit of a track.
I feel like
I think there's unexplicit versions of it.
You think M can rap an unexplicit version of that in the heat of the moment?
It would just be beep 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 beep.
That's all it would be. You might say it so fast they don't realize
Sound like traffic.
I don't know, but I'm super looking forward to it. It's the first Super Bowl in a long time that I don't care who wins. I'm gonna be cool with it either way.
Yeah, no, my Steelers ain't playing.
None of our teams are playing. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it.
Unfortunately,
but we can move on from that now. But I felt it only right is Super Bowl weekend. We got to discuss it real quick.
You have to mention it. Shit, man.
I don't know. It'll be fun.
That's what I'm pumped for. Like this weekend.
Oh yeah,
I've been waiting for this weekend for a while.
Ever since it got announced. So it'll be fun. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I imagine you're not doing anything for it, Salo. I already talked to you about this, Daniel.
Like doing something for it. I'm actually gonna try to watch it. So I'm either gonna hang at home or see if anybody wants to watch it in my peoples. And
I'm
really excited for the halftime show.
Doing like a work potluck. Have yet to decide what I want to bring.
Food.
Man, everybody's bringing.
I
food,
recommend drinks.
Like I don't what specifically.
What?
I could be an asshole and just bring
Mexican
nothing.
You bring a bag of
just
chips.
show up.
Bring some cupcakes.
But like a single
like a single serving
personal size bag of chips. Yeah, and I just walk in eating them.
Or bring like a whole bag.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be doing
bags.
something I haven't done in a while, and I'm going to be getting lit at 8 a.m.
That's funny because where you're stationed at, it's gonna be 8 a.m.
Oh yeah, because we're drinking.
That's funny. What time is it going to be? A Sunday or what is it going to be? A Monday for you?
Yeah, Monday.
And then do you work that Monday afternoon at 1 or 12?
So, a lot of overseas military locations, school and work will be closed. Well, they will just not have them for when
that's
the
so
Super Bowl.
I love that.
Like when I lived in Germany, they canceled school that Monday because they knew everyone was staying up to watch the Super Bowl because it was late at night.
America.
Well, so I think I saw something about it, and we've talked about it a little bit, Brett. But tradition says they shouldn't do it, but to hell with tradition. I'm all for moving the Super Bowl to Saturday.
It makes so much more sense for people to be able to
watch it.
Sleep in the next morning. And this is obviously going off a general schedule. There are people that are fucked regardless.
Yeah, but there's always going to be that.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, should be a good game. Hopefully it's not a blowout. I hope it's a competitive game.
I'm definitely.
So
wait, is that? Oh shit, is that real? Did the new trailer for I think the new trailer for Black Adam dropped recently.
Oh, we'll have to check that out after.
9 hours ago. That's a movie I'm looking forward to. I want to. I'm real excited
for it.
Yeah, just because it's taken so long, or have you seen stuff that's?
This is taking so long.
Because it was like announced shortly after Shazam, right? Like, that The Rock was going to be Black Adam.
I think it was announced before Shazam.
Jesus. Man,
I don't know.
The timeline for movies is so fucked right now.
Yeah.
I mean, for everything.
Yeah. Speaking of movies and mainstream media, something I just wanted to talk about a little bit. Excited and terrified So one of my favorite games to play, I stream it quite often, Dead by Daylight. Brett's not a fan, but I love it. It's a horror game for those of you that don't know, and they have a lot of licensing deals. And they've got all kinds of cult classic horror icons: Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface, Michael Myers.
At Dead by Daylight, the video game?
In the video game, those are killers that people can play as.
That's crazy. I didn't know they had the license to those.
Yeah, they have a bunch of them. The Demogorgon from Stranger Things. All kinds of shit.
Really? That's pretty cool. That's badass. That makes me want to play it.
Next month, we get the next chapter, and it is Ringu, the Japanese ring.
I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
I'm so fucking terrified. But it's gonna be fucking dope. But then a discussion I was having the other night on stream was, what do we think's next? Because it's gonna be the 6-year anniversary for the game, and the last 3 anniversaries in a row they used a big title. 3rd year, Ghostface. 4th year, Silent Hill. 5th year, Resident Evil. That's when they got Nemesis and Leon and Jill. So the 6 years coming up. And so
Chucky.
I've been trying to rack my brain. What's a big franchise that could make it into this game? And so while this game isn't something that necessarily either of you have a lot to contribute to, I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about what major franchises in the world of horror are still relevant.
Well, I said one before. Chucky. They came out with the new season of TV show. So,
absolutely.
dude, that could be pretty cool.
That's been one people have been talking about that should have been put in this game for a while. It's always been one of the
makes
theories.
sense.
And I think it's totally possible because they have a killer called the Twins, who is it's a full-size character, and she has like a weird little imp that lives on like in her hip that pops
disgusting.
out, and it's small, same size Chucky would be, and you play as the imp too. So they clearly have the game mechanics to play as a smaller character, and I feel like they did that to test for the potential for Chucky one day. So I definitely think Chucky's a big possibility.
That's a game theory.
I mean, the big one that everyone talks about is Friday the 13th.
Getting.
But we just don't know where the licensing on that franchise stands at the moment. So I don't think that's going to be it.
I haven't heard anything about that license in a while.
It's been so stagnant.
It's still a lawsuit, isn't it?
I think they settled.
Okay.
But they each own individual parts of the rights, so neither of them can do anything without the other one letting them. I think that's where it stands at the moment.
Do you think like they realize how much money they're actually losing out on?
I mean, granted, they probably don't care. They probably have.
They might not, but like.
Fuck. Oh no, I know. But like another franchise that I've talked about that I think could fit in Dead by Daylight that would be crazy. Pennywise.
Yo, imagine if I would buy that game in a heartbeat.
I thought it was going to happen when the movies dropped.
Mm-hmm.
When one of the movies dropped, I thought they were going to introduce Pennywise.
Me too.
It's like a perfect fit with Chucky. Chucky, Pennywise is a really
Now,
good
how would
pieces.
you guys feel about Pennywise having his own video game? I don't mean to completely gear. That's something I've thought about. Like, could that be a thing where, like, you play these children in the town of Derry and you end up having to combat and go up against Pennywise? Do you think a game could be made that would be worth anything, have any substance?
Maybe.
If they gave backstory, like, honestly. They need something besides just the same general concept we know. Like, I don't think it could be built on the same basis of just the premise of the movies. It'd have to include something additional, lore, backstory. I don't think otherwise it could... I don't think so, at least in my opinion, that it could be
I think
standalone.
there's 2 ways it could work. So the thing is, we've had movie video games,
And they just
never
don't...
are good.
Yeah, they don't work out well.
They're never good.
It can't be specifically based off the movie.
Here are my 2 thoughts. Prequel you do the generation before the kids of Derry that we know. Mm. So you have the kids of the 80s. You do the 50s generation. Mm-hmm. Or sequel. They didn't actually beat Pennywise. Pennywise comes back again in 30 years.
I like the prequel idea way better. I
like the sequel idea more.
No, I like... Because, like, here's another monster that, guess what, we didn't kill again. Well, like every other horror genre.
Well, so here's the thing.
Guess what, Jason's not there.
Pennywise isn't supposed to be killable. They should have technically just put him in hibernation. Based on his lore.
Really?
And the reason I say sequel I think would be a better game is because prequel we already know that Pennywise has to win.
It's true.
Okay. From a game perspective, from game mechanics and...
That's why I don't like prequels.
That makes sense.
I never like prequels. I've said this time and time again throughout my life. I don't like prequels because I know how they have to end. Like, even with a sequel, like, I probably know how it's going to go.
But you don't know how it's
But I don't know for sure. With a prequel, it has to end in the way that sets up for the original. Mm-hmm. And I don't like... That's why I don't like movies that do prequels. Because it can't matter.
It's all informative. It's all informative. That's pretty much what a prequel ends up becoming.
Well, it also means you can't do anything new.
It's true.
Like, Wonder Woman. Why is it that in the second Wonder Woman movie... Spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen that yet somehow. How is it in the second Wonder Woman movie... what was it? Wonder Woman 1980 or whatever it was called?
Actually haven't seen it, but continue.
Well, spoiler alert, homie. In that movie, she can turn a fucking jet invisible.
How? Powers?
Why can't she do that in Justice League? Why did they fly face first into a swarm of parademons? She can turn a fucking straight up jet invisible. But she can't do that 30 years later after honing her powers even more?
She's older, man. She's a couple thousand years old.
That's why I hate prequels. Because prequels don't make sense. She fucking flies!
So,
she flies.
Going back to the going back to the whole video game idea, a thought I had, instead of... So, how familiar is everybody with Dark Tower?
I've read all 8 books.
Okay, so...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, so...
it's Stephen King's true franchise of... it's the only thing he's ever done that had more than 2 installments.
The OG series, right? He came out... It's one of those books.
It's the best It's the best thing Stephen King's ever written.
I take it back. I've heard of it. I've never read it.
I've read all of it.
So a big thing with the Dark Tower is the kind of what it does. It connects a lot of the universes. Mm-hmm.
It turns them into a multiverse.
It turns it into a multiverse.
Really?
So my thought would be the way Pennywise is in a game is through Dark Tower.
Sure.
You know, maybe like, let's say you play one of the more prolific characters of the book series is the gunslinger? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, gunslinger. So you play as a gunslinger, and you end up having to hop different dimensions or different verses going into Stephen King's different books.
Ooh,
dealing with what's happening.
That could be really cool. Another thing, I think that the Dark Tower series is perfect for a video game franchise because the one thing that the Dark Tower does, without any major spoilers for people that haven't read them, because it's different with books than movies. You might not get around to them yet. But without major spoilers, the Dark Tower is a franchise that has looping aspects where time can kind of come full circle, in a sense. So things can happen more than once, and you can learn from your mistakes and stuff like that. What a great idea for a video game. I mean, they basically did it in Returnal, where every time you die things change a little bit, but you come back and you start all over. Like, that would be amazing for a video game based on the Stephen King universes, where, like, as you play and as you, like, if you die, you kind of start over, but you've learned new things, like, you have one new power. Or, like, as you're progressing through the game, you find a shotgun that can do specific things, and you die, and you have to restart the whole game, but you have that shotgun now. Like, and see how it changes the aspects of the game. Certain things, a door on the first level of the game is locked. You can't get in. The key to that is in the third level. The only way to get through that door is to make it to the third level, find the key, and die.
That's interesting.
Like, that would be fucking crazy, wouldn't it?
That's a unique... Yeah. Definitely. This whole multiverse thing, or multi-universe, all this, like, reminds me of... Have you guys read any of the Deadpool comics?
A few, not many.
So there's one called Deadpool Illustrated, which is where Deadpool goes into different, like, timelines in the Marvel Universe, or timelines in even, like, literature, and, like, gets to, like, kill Tom Sawyer, Scrooge, Gulliver, the Three Musketeers, Sherlock Holmes. Like, it goes through, like, different books where he's, like, trying to... Basically, there's obviously a bigger plot line to why he's doing it, but basically it's, like, representing his mental breakdown or something like that. It's been a while since I've read it, but I thought it was a really interesting concept, having Deadpool, like, going into literature, you know, characters and killing them and going from universe to universe. That's what it reminded me of. I recommend it.
Deadpool really does whatever the fuck he wants.
I mean, Deadpool is the perfect character to do something like that.
Yeah. Deadpool Illustrated for anyone.
I'm pretty sure there's a comic where Deadpool kills the creators of his comic.
Yeah. There's one where he kills himself.
Like, it's just...
And other versions
he kills himself in the movie.
He did that, yeah, he killed Ryan Reynolds like 3 times.
No, but I mean, like, he goes to but he goes to every other universe to kill himself.
Yeah, so that he can be the only one, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just typical.
But to think we started all of this talking about which horror franchises are still iconic.
Went from movies to video games to comics.
The only other one I wanted to say real quick for Dead by Daylight, one that a lot of people say they think could be the 6th year is Five Nights at Freddy's. Could be. Totally possible. I wouldn't care for it personally, but it could be. But a dark
The internet would go crazy.
Yeah, the internet would go crazy. But a dark horse that I don't feel like a lot of people talk about and is a newer cult classic, so to speak, Slender Man. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about Slender Man, but Slender Man is something that almost everyone knows about.
It's a cultural thing now. Like, it pervades, like, it really grew. It really
Did anybody
grew.
see this? Did either of you see the Slender Man movie?
No.
This shit was...
Did you guys hear?
Bad.
It was good or bad? Did you hear about the news story of the girl who said the Slenderman told her to kill her?
That was a while ago. Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah, I heard about that quite a bit ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
it pervades our culture.
Yeah, she like killed somebody in the woods or something. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And now there's Siren Head.
That looks creepier, but less realistic.
Don't start talking about Siren Head. I don't like Siren Head. It's freaky.
Yeah, I don't like.
Why are we talking about horror shit? There are ghosts in my room. Let's change the topic.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna send you that. I'm gonna send you I'm gonna send you a voice recorder. All types of readers. I need you to bring it to the podcast next time, just so you.
Yeah. I'll let you know what the readings are. No, man, like, it was crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely excited to see what this Ringu chapter looks like. I think that my thing is this: if they're releasing Ringu next, and that's not the 6-year anniversary, what do they have in store for the 6-year anniversary? Because Ringu's iconic. It's gonna be The Grudge. And I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, The Grudge.
It's gonna be The Grudge, and I'm gonna cry.
I don't know, because I'm not sure there's too much uniqueness between them.
No, I don't think there is. No, I don't think The Grudge will get in the game now that Ringu's in the game.
I mean, they even...
They walk
and
they move. They look.
Yeah, like even in their like the movie that they made with both of them in it, they end up like they did that. Yeah, they pit them against each other like this.
It was Ringu versus
basically like a spirit detective of sorts. He pits these two creatures against each other, and when they fight, they fall. Spoilers to anyone that hasn't seen this movie. I mean, you should still watch it regardless. But they fall into the well, both of them as they're fighting, and then they burst out and merge into one.
Yeah,
it's fucking horrifying.
One of the scariest things, in my opinion, is like those like Japanese ghouls. They freak me the fuck out. They always have. So like the Ring, the Grudge,
okay.
Like those kind of characters. What?
Yokai.
Yeah, sure.
Japanese spirits.
Yeah, Japanese ghouls. They freak me out.
Yokai.
They freak me out. They always have.
What a Yokai.
Oh my god.
That's spooky.
To be surrounded by culture.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, it's it'll be interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of things that are coming up soon between the Super Bowl, video games. Speaking of video games,
yes.
Brett and I dabbled a little bit into the world of Dying Light 2. We don't have any spoilers to provide for any of you.
How'd you guys like it? You're both smiling.
The game's okay. The game's fun, right? Fun game.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. But for some reason, I on my PS5 cannot play with my friend on his PS4.
Really? That sucks.
Well,
no cross compatibility.
That's not true.
Really?
If I download, which I did, the PS4 version of the game to my PS5, I can then play with my friend. But I don't get any of my progress that I did. This game has a 1 to 2 hour tutorial before you get to play with anybody.
Closer to 2.
Closer to 2.
You gotta be kidding me.
No.
A tutorial?
Guess who's done it twice?
Oh my god. I thought the World of Warcraft intro tutorial was too long.
I mean, the game
it's very well done. The tutorial is really well done.
It's very world building.
Yes.
You only want to do it once, though.
I didn't want to do it again.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I wouldn't mind doing it again after I beat the game the first time. This man played the tutorial and then played the tutorial again.
Sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucked.
So for those of you that haven't played Dying Light 2 but want to, if you want to play with friends, make sure they are on the same platform. Not PlayStation to PlayStation. PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 4. PlayStation 5 to PlayStation 5. Xbox One to Xbox One. PC to PC.
But that loophole does work if you download the PS4 version to your PS5.
Yeah. So you can download previous gen to your next gen console and play with previous gen players. But you'll need to make sure that anyone else you want to play does the same thing, because you're going to be real upset when two of you are playing on the 4 edition, one of you on your 5, you invite your other buddy on a 5, and he got the 5 edition.
He can't join you.
Right. Now they plan on fixing that.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to get fixed. I guess it's hung up with PlayStation. It's not actually on the creators, so we'll see what happens with that.
But aesthetically, the game is beautiful.
I love it, man. It's great.
I don't know how much I've cared about the story so far, though.
Really? You guys don't think... Is it because the storyline is like a generic storyline, or is it... It's just not polished yet?
A lot of the characters feel very...
NPC?
Yeah. I mean... I don't know. Like, nobody feels like they make rational, like...
Like an NPC, yeah.
So here's what happened in the first game, right? Almost every character that you come across is a dick.
Yeah, that's true.
In some way, shape, or form, they're a dick. And it's continuing like that, as far as we can tell. Everyone kind of seems to be a dick.
Except for the one guy.
Except for one, yeah, the one guy. But they haven't appeared so far, yeah, to have that range. I felt like they had a little bit more in the first one.
The other thing that really threw me and Brett off was we're playing as a new character. It's not the character from the first game. And I won't say reasons that it's not the first character, but the first character's story arc does finish in the first game. So if you play the first game and the DLC of the first game, you will understand why that is not the character for the second game, without spoilers. But
would you guys recommend
the first game
download and play?
The first game?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
First game.
Yeah.
First game.
I love the first game. I've played it through 3 or 4 times now.
I've never played it, so it sounds like
really good.
I need to pick it up.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
But we are playing the new game. We are a new character. And our character talks, and I'm like, damn, this guy sounds like Crane from the first game. And I pull it up.
I was absolutely sure. I was like, no, yeah, this is the same guy. They must have just got the same voice actor.
Right. So I pull it up, and I'm like, it's got to be the same voice actor. It's not. It's not the same person. It's not the same actor. It's not the same character. It is a different voice actor voice acting for a different character that sounds 100% like the same person. And I don't know how you do that by accident.
They sound exactly the same.
If you didn't know, they were the same person.
Yep.
Subconsciously.
I mean, it genuinely, like...
You pull lines up from both games side by side, and you're going to think they're the same person.
You could switch dialogue from one game to the other and not know which game it was. It's trippy. So, yeah. But aesthetically, beautiful. Looking forward to playing more of it. We'll see when that happens. Nice. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It's the next big game, and I'm worried that it's going to feel a lot like Cyberpunk.
You think us playing through Dying Light's going to feel like Cyberpunk?
Kinda.
I don't know if Dying Light's getting as much exposure as Cyberpunk did, but like, what specifically do you mean?
Everything I've seen says it's riddled with bugs.
I mean, we've already seen some of those bugs.
We've seen a few, and we only played for about an hour. But I mean, people falling through the map, people just having parts that are purely unplayable. And another thing about Cyberpunk, and I know some people really enjoyed it, but like, there was a lot of hype for that game, and a lot of people said that it didn't live up to it, even when it played well. And I'm worried about that with Dying Light. I am. I'm worried that this game is going to be a letdown.
And for the record,
I'm very inexperienced with these video games, or with those titles that you mentioned. So to me, it's like when new stuff comes out, I'm just like, more content, fabulous. Yeah.
So a trend that has been existing in video games as of late is high expectations, high plans, and poor execution.
Yeah.
And it's happening with just about every game you can think of. I mean, I was trying to think of a game that like ended up performing really well, and I think the latest Five Nights at Freddy's performed really well.
I've heard good things.
But most games that I can think of that come out, there's always something.
Should we talk about the game that came out right before last episode that we only had about an hour and a half worth to talk about? Extraction.
Oh,
Rainbow Six Extraction, which we were super hyped for. I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of lackluster.
Very repetitive. It's fun.
It is fun. But
you can have fun in it. It's very difficult.
It's too hard. It's way too hard.
Like So we're playing on the easiest difficulty. After level 5 they recommend moving up in difficulty. Realistically, according to everyone that's played the game, you shouldn't move up to just normal, pretty much, until you're like level 10 with all your characters.
Yeah. I mean, it's just too hard. I mean...
extremely.
It's way too difficult. I mean, I have no desire to play the game on a harder difficulty.
Do you think from the perspective of someone like me who's like clearly a novice in the gaming, do you think that was something that would immediately like turn me off to the game, just the level of difficulty? Just
there would be Salo, I don't think you'd be able to get past the first room.
Okay, so Salo, do you play FPS games at all?
Yes, I've dabbled. I don't play hardcore.
Okay. By dabbled,
but I know the concepts.
What do you mean by dabbled? Like you've played a couple COD games here and there?
Yeah, like obviously when I was younger, I had an Xbox, played COD,
right, played a little bit of Halo,
I've leveled up. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of Halo.
So
nothing recent though. Besides, playing with Brett.
I will tell you right now, Brett and I play a lot of shooter games, a lot. We play the Modern Warfare, the newest Modern Warfare, together. We actually do kind of okay sometimes. We play a lot of Rogue Company. We even play quite a bit of Fortnite. Now, granted, they all play differently. Each one plays differently. They are all shooter games.
Right.
They still force you to work on your quick reactions and your aim and all those things. This game is so difficult. So difficult that making it through without getting hurt is almost impossible.
That's no fun.
I mean, it genuinely almost impossible. And I'll tell you this, there are certain missions that we look at and we just don't want to do. Like I'd rather just skip the mission and not get experience than do some of these missions because they're just impossible to do without taking damage.
Yeah, the level of difficulty is made not so much based off of like the challenge, the enemies, like the types of enemies. It's the amount. It gets to it gets to the point where your 3-man squad cannot cover 6 directions.
Well, so that's not my only problem. That is a problem, but that's not my only problem. My biggest problem is that the low-level enemy, the grunt, spawns less than the exploding grunt.
Yeah, the exploding grunt actually generates more. You're saying.
Yeah, the spawns are odd.
So there's
I think they're dictated by how disturbed the spawner is.
No, I don't agree with that at all. Because we have missions where we go in and our sole objective is to walk up to these spawners and plant trackers in them. And we can't get to them because there are 14 exploders in the way. Mm-hmm. And we can't shoot one of the exploders or they'll piss off everybody because they'll explode.
Yeah. But like you have to get rid of them. And then
I'm telling you now,
there's so many that you can't sneak up on them.
It is impossible.
Yeah.
A tracker mission, a stealth mission with exploder spawns is impossible to accomplish. Genuinely. It is truly impossible.
You think so?
Not a joke. Not over exaggerating. We have not done it once. There's no way. There's just not. And some of the characters, their abilities feel infinitely less useless than other characters. Like, there are clear and cut characters whose powers are way better than others.
And a lot of the, like, pretty much most of the abilities come from the base game. Come from, Rainbow Six Siege. So they're not really changing the character that much. So their ability is the same from that, but
it's a completely different
it doesn't all transfer over.
Sledge is useless.
Breaking through walls,
pointless.
I mean,
serves no purpose. There's a door right there. I can walk 3 feet
true.
and open a door, or I can break this wall and then let everything come out because I can't close the wall. Sledge's power, completely useless. It just is. There's a character that lets you drop shields for people. Guess what? If you already have a shield, you don't get to put on a new one. Useless.
All right. I have something to contribute real quick. Just something I wanted your thoughts on because I was checking the time. So this is an article I found that says new research, and this is off topic. So new research suggests modern humans lived in Europe 10,000 years earlier than previously thought in Neanderthal territories.
What?
So, like, I just wanted to bring that up because I wanted your opinion on this. Like, I was thinking the other day, there was so many human species back in the day. It's so hard, like, living in our history now, and you know, we think we're the only race. The human species actually was so many more, and before we used to, you know, studies have shown that we were around the same time as the Neanderthals. We could have even interbred with them. So I wanted your opinion on that because, like, imagine a society where it's like we have the human race, we have the Neanderthal race, you know, and they're all, obviously we're Homo sapiens and they're Neanderthal. I forget the scientific name for it, but like imagine a world where we have different human species living in the same time, you know?
Right.
Like, how would that interaction go?
Yeah, like imagine, like, I wonder if we would, as a society, still be so distinctly obsessed with skin color as opposed to racial, you know, like what race you're from.
I think it would have been exactly the same.
Yeah.
One of those societies would have been
more advanced.
More advanced. One of the societies would have been persecuted more. Ultimately, it would have been a power struggle.
Do you think it was inevitable that it would have only have been just one
People
race?
see like at base, people see differences. And without the knowledge of those differences, people fear those differences.
And that'll never go away.
So you think it's innate?
I think it's to an extent, it is inevitable that human beings as a whole will always see differences with people that look different than them. Not everyone, because some people are raised in cultures and societies with those other people.
Right.
But the reality is, me being a white male that was born in Baltimore, a predominantly black place, I am going to have a very different outlook on the black community than someone that was born in a very country part of the world where it's all white people. It is just a fact of life that me being born in a different part of the world is going to change my outlook on that part of the world. That's a fact.
And now if you're going back to the Homo sapiens and the Neanderthals, now you're not just looking at skin differences, you're looking at straight up physical
genetical differences. I mean, we're now talking about people like us looking at people like with genetic deformities and things like that. Like, not saying that a Neanderthal versus a regular Homo sapien was a genetic deformity, but there are distinctions. So now we're looking at standard human being genetic deformities, hunchback, giantism, dwarfism, things like that. People judge that. Not everybody, but some people. Right. Some people look at a guy like the Big Show or Andre the Giant as a freak of nature or a monster. Some people look at Wee Man as or Brad Williams as whatever the proper term you want to use, because I don't want to offend anybody. And I think
right.
Now the proper term is little person. I believe that's the proper terminology now. But they look at somebody like that and they think that it's funny or they're a joke or whatever. And most people don't. But here's the other reality. People that look at different people with a negative connotation are usually the loudest.
Right. And, to pivot to somewhere more positive, sometimes as humans, we have to look beyond that.
Right.
And look at what, brings us together.
Well,
so just wanted to end with that little bit.
Well, yeah, and I think that's huge, and I think it's important. And I mean, like, we have people from all different parts of the world that look at things differently, and try and acknowledge them for what they are. And I think that's important, especially with everything going on in the world. It's just crazy how variable things can be for the smallest of reasons. I don't know.
But yeah, that was interesting.
But even that concept is not beyond us, and we are. And so I'm going to take this point to go ahead and roll us out. We're going to end here. And yeah, just a little bit. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed us. And
please like, subscribe.
Yeah, do the things, hit all the buttons. And we will see you next time.
Later, everybody.
See you later. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, hit that add to watch later button, hit that share to my brother who's in Connecticut button. Press all the buttons.
I would like to say you don't have to have a brother in Connecticut to share it. Just saying.
It's okay, guys. I ended it like 20 minutes ago, so we're fine.
No.
There you go.
Bye.